DanganRonpa.
Hey guys, you have the team here. Welcome back to some more Let's Play DanganRonpa. In the last episode, we finished off the 5th class trial, and some shocking stuff went down. Turns out the 5th trial was just a ruse so Monokuma could break the rules and try and kill Kyoko. And Makoto sacrificed himself. And, well, as you can see, he still lives. So anyway, yeah, we're on chapter 6 now. But before any of that, let's just have we start reading. Super High School Despair. The group that caused mankind's most despairingly maleficent and monstrous malefaction last year. The group that pitted us against each other in this academic coliseum and broadcast it to the world. A hopelessly, helplessly terrible group of people. And the identity of the puppet master. After all this time, we finally got our sights set on our true enemy. But first, let's get out of this awful place, shall we? We can talk once we've done that. Yeah, I agree. Alright, so I think we have to talk to Kyoko again. Hey, Kirigiri, did you bring that key with you? That Monokuma's secret gadget thing you stole from the headmaster's office? Of course I have it. This key is vital in our trapping the puppet master. I wouldn't let it out of my sight. And hold on for a second, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to take a phone call. Alright. Yes. That shit. You said it can unlock any door in the academy, right? Yes, it can. And it should work on that door over there, too. Alright. Hey, Kirigiri, shouldn't that key be able to open this door too? It's worth a shot. She slowly slid the Monokuma branded key into the door's keyhole, turned it, and... Yes! It opened! We should be able to get out of here now. Let's go. Let's. Opening the once sealed door, Kirigiri and I left the dump behind. Finally. I was finally out. But I didn't have time for a sigh of relief. After all, the true battle was still to come. As you can see, it already starts out as an everyday life. We don't get any free time in this chapter. Beyond the door was a space like a shaft, like a tunnel turned on its side, or maybe a large chimney. My eyes traced a path along the ladder on the wall. I felt like I was at the bottom of a bottomless pit. Kind of a... whatever. I took hold of the ladder first, began my ascent, and Kirigiri followed after me. We climbed and we climbed and we climbed, unable to see our destination. After some time, we also lost sight of our point of origin. I had no idea we were this far down. Watch your step. I won't be able to catch you if you fall. Yeah. I'll be careful. Of course, now that I'm actually thinking about it. Maybe I should try talking about something to take my mind off it. Oh, hey, Kirigiri. There was something I wanted to ask you. You're the super duper high school sleuth, right? How long have you been a detective? How long? I've always been one, ever since I was a child. Since the old days when detective work was considered far more venerable than it is today. The Kirigiri family has made its livelihood as detectives. Then your family's pretty famous, isn't it? Actually, quite the opposite. We're relatively unknown, even among others in the same line of work. Huh? But why? If you've got such a strong family tradition. We pride ourselves in it. Pride? Detectives represent neither light nor dark. It is precisely because we are neither good nor evil that we are able to find the one truth. We are obligated to maintain neutrality, so for that reason we must separate ourselves from the world. Thus we deliberately keep our existence hidden away. You keep hidden? It's an obsolete, old-fashioned, illogical way of thinking. But despite that, we still abide by it. After all, it's our pride. Pride. I think I get it. The reason I couldn't find anything about her in the new students at Kibogamine Academy thread was because she kept that information hidden to uphold her family's pride. But I trampled on that pride. What? I sold myself out to the Kibogamine Academy faculty so I'd be selected for admission, knowing full well that my actions were unworthy of a Kirigiri family detective. She went so far as to trample over her family's pride, so she could enroll in Kibogamine Academy. And she wanted to do that because you were really looking forward to meeting your dad, weren't you? Can't blame you. Looking forward to it? I have absolutely nothing to look forward to in a reunion with my father. Huh? But you haven't seen your dad in so long. Surely there's a bunch of stuff you want to talk about. I have nothing to talk to him about, but I do have something to tell him. You want to tell him something? There's something I absolutely want to tell that man. To meet with him directly, and tell him to his face. And what's that? That I'm cutting all our ties. That he's no longer my father. No longer her father? The last time I saw that man, I was still a child. So I don't know a lot about him, other than that he was apparently very intelligent. The Kirigiri family had high hopes for the future with him as the next family head, but he hated being a detective, so he withdrew himself from the Kirigiri family. When my mother died, he used that as an excuse to run away from home. He had a big fight with my grandfather, the head. Then he left, leaving me still young behind. I'm sure he had a good reason, but your dad really wanted to bring you with him. In that case, I should be thankful. Thankful that he left me behind. Unlike that man, I actually take pride in my work as a detective. I take pride in the Kirigiri family. So I am grateful from the bottom of my heart that he didn't take me with him. Had he, by some chance, actually taken me with him, I would not have been able to become a detective. Climbing the ladder ahead of her, I was unable to see Kirigiri's face, so I had no way to know what kind of expression, what kind of emotion her face bore, as she said those words. All I could tell was that, as compared to usual, she was speaking more freely, and perhaps more brazenly. I have no intention of blaming that man. His life is his to live, and I'm sure that sounds like I'm being dismissive, but that's honestly how I feel. There's just one thing that I can never forgive him for. And what's that? The way people looked at me. I felt no sorrow at having been left behind. Rather, I thought I was better off for it. But people didn't see me like that. I was always thought of as the girl who was abandoned by her father. And that's how they all looked at me. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm fed up with having my past, that man's shadow, always hanging over me. I want to cut him out of my life, once and for all. That's why I have to tell him to his face, that I'm cutting all ties. So I can clear the books on our past. So I can remove that man from my life. Of course, he's probably forgotten all about me by now. But your family. Isn't severing relations a bit much? He and I simply share the same blood, nothing more. We may be connected by our blood, but our hearts are disconnected. Can you really call that family? They're connected by blood, but their hearts are disconnected. She had been so sure, so firm in saying that. I couldn't think of any way to respond. So I could do nothing but keep my mouth shut. To continue climbing in silence. After some time, we finally arrived. Looks like this is the end. Kibogami Academy is on the other side of that door. We've returned. You remember the door on the dormitory's trash room floor? That should be where we come out. I unlocked the door ahead of time, so there shouldn't be any problems opening it. I'll give it a shot. I pressed my right hand against the door above my head and I pushed. With little resistance, the door opened. Then we've returned. That was an unbelievably long ladder. I'm exhausted. Somehow we made it back. Whether you could say we were unharmed was another issue altogether. But here we are. Kibogami Academy. Thank you, Kirigiri. You saved my life. You don't need to thank me. I was just repaying a favor. So, what do we do from here? I managed to dodge one bullet, and that's great and all. But if the Puppet Master finds me, it's not just me who's in danger, but you too, since you saved me. Are you worried? Well, yeah. Then how about we ask him directly? Huh? Him? What's this text? I'm ignoring this guy. Friend, he's texting me in different fucking languages. Alright. Monokuma, ask him whether your escaping is a problem or not. But it's just a matter of time before you're found. And it's not like there's anywhere to run to anyway. As she spoke, Kirigiri pointed at the security camera. So you're saying, if my only option is to wait to be caught, then I'd be better off just surrendering? Don't worry. Things won't end up the way you're afraid they will. After all, it's the Puppet Master who's been driven into a corner, not us. The Puppet Master's been driven into a corner. You said that before, but what do you mean? By holding Mukuro Ikusaba's class trial, the Puppet Master revealed his hand, and that's something we can take advantage of. Something we can take advantage of? You'll see when we talk to Monokuma. Also, it's to our benefit to act first, before you're discovered. We want any advantage we can get for this negotiation. I'm a little bit... no. More than a little bit nervous. But we've got no choice, do we? Monokuma should be in the gymnasium. Let's go, shall we? Alright. Here goes nothing. Let's go meet with the headmaster, Monokuma, for a negotiation, as Kirigiri called it. I really can't believe we're almost at the end, guys. This is a long playthrough, I know, but hell, it's been fun. But I'm not... why am I talking like it's over already? It's not. We still got lots more to go. Well, not lots, one more trial, but yeah. Whatevs.
Well. I get Kirigiri. But why is the should have been executed has been Naigi here with you?
Can't say I didn't see that reaction coming. Am I really going to be okay?
Did you perhaps save him? And after all the trouble I went through preparing his punishment?
And what if I did?
If the villain is correctly identified during the class trial, he alone will be punished. I'm sorry to say it, but those are the rules. So I'll just have to punish you again, and this time I'll make sure it works.
Kirigiri! If that's what you want to do, go right ahead.
What?
But before you do, just let me say one thing. If you execute Naigi, then you lose. Are you okay with that?
Huh? Me? Lose? Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
The class trial was just a big setup, wasn't it? So you could smoke me out and kill me. In other words, had things gone according to plan, it would have been me executed there.
Hold on! What are you saying?
But your expectations were blown way off track, because Naigi let my lies slip through unnoticed. You didn't see that coming. It didn't even cross your mind, in that situation, that someone would stand up for someone else. And your response to that unexpected turn of events was to call Naigi the villain and execute him. You were desperate. No, it was more than desperation. You felt threatened by Naigi because he doesn't do what you expect him to do. But that wasn't the only surprise waiting for you in that class trial. Someone interfered with Naigi's execution. Alter ego. You miscalculated. You didn't consider that someone else who is already dead would save someone else. And that is the truth. It wasn't Naigi who murdered Mukuro Ikusaba. It was you. And yet, for you to execute Naigi in spite of that, isn't that a violation of the rules you so adore? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the villain is only supposed to be executed if he's identified correctly.
And that means I lose? Let me get this straight. You're saying the real villain is me, not Naigi. Then where's your evidence?
I don't have any. She doesn't sugarcoat it.
Is this your idea of a joke? How can you talk like a big shot and not even have any evidence to back it up?
I don't have any now, but with a little more time, I'd be able to find everything I need. As much as you try to hide it, there is only one truth.
What's your deal? Now you're pilfering catchphrases from super detectives?
If Naigi really did kill her, then he wouldn't have come to you like this. He'd gone into hiding, trembling under the weight of his sins, cowering in fear of his punishment, rotting away in your precious despair. But we're here standing up to you. We haven't lost hope.
You trying to say that that counts in place of evidence? Do you think that's enough to satisfy me?
You're right, that wouldn't satisfy you. But it's the same for the people watching this. Executing Naigi will not satisfy them. What? If you execute Naigi right now, this is what the people watching will think. They'll think that you forcibly executed Naigi because everything we said was right. They'll think that hope cannot be killed with despair.
Grr!
If your stance is what we're saying is baseless, then you'll just have to prove it, right? No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you execute Naigi while his guilt is still in question, then you're admitting defeat.
Grr!
If you want us to experience despair fairly and impartially, then you will accept my proposition. You must accept it.
So what is it? This proposition of yours?
That we retry Mukuro Ikusaba's murder case. And that this time you hold a fair class trial, abiding by the school rules. Let this be our final battle. The battle between hope and despair. Pretty fitting for a climax, don't you think? A fair class trial. The final battle. In other words, a trial to reveal the Puppet Master's identity? But the Puppet Master has no reason to accept a challenge like that. Surely he'll just get rid of me. No questions asked.
Hehehehe. Intriguing. Very intriguing.
Barry?
I'm trying out a new personality. I couldn't bear the old one any longer. Anyway, that's not a very bad idea. It is a pretty fitting climax, I'll give you that.
So you accept?
If I do, will that satisfy you lot and the viewers? And when you're satisfied, you'll despair for me? If you will, then honey, show me where to sign.
What?
Will you lot and your hope win out, or will me and my despair take the crown? A veritable final battle, a real Kodiak moment.
He accepted? Then that means there's still a chance.
However, since this is the climax, it would be pretty boring if all you had to do was find the culprit. So, to make this befitting of a final conflict, you lot need to lay bare all of the mysteries.
All of the mysteries?
Every single mystery buried in the Academy. If you manage to solve all of them, then I'll call it you lots' victory. That's what I was planning on doing from the very beginning. Then that takes care of that. If you lot can uncover Mukuro Ikusaba's murder, how the crime was committed, and on top of that, solve all of the Academy's mysteries, then I'll admit defeat. But when the polar opposite happens, we'll all be executed, right? Teehee, I can barely contain my excitement when you learn the grisly truth. Just what kind of despair will you lot show me? We're the ones who should be excited. When we reveal everything, just how much despair will Super Duper High School Despair be in? I feel like I just witnessed something, the start of something outrageous. But first, I'd like to clarify something. You said before that class trials are held when murders are committed among the students, right? What of it? I'd like to confirm that there are no inaccuracies in this statement. Teehee, there's no need to pry it out of me. I'm an approachable kind of bear. Everything that happened has all been in accordance with the school rules, and it goes without saying that Mukuro Ikusaba's class trial is no exception. Huh? Mukuro Ikusaba's class trial is no exception. It was held in accordance with the school rules? Then that means the person who killed her. Teehee, actually while we're at it, I'll give you one more hint. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but there are a total of 16 participants, all of whom are students in this academic coliseum. Also, since the coliseum commenced operation, the only living humans to set foot in this academy are those very same 16 students. What? Is that the truth? Why the silent treatment all of a sudden? Boop boop boop. Boop 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 boop. This conversation's over. I ain't got nothing to talk to you guys about. Now scram! Now he's angry? Maybe he has borderline personality disorder. Shut up and get lost. Alright, we're going. We're going. Are you sure I can go? Whatevs, it doesn't matter. You're all gonna get punished later either way. So I'm gonna prepare something very despairingly special for you guys. Oop poop poo. Oop poop poo poo. Oop poop poo 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 poo. Let's go, Nagi.
Okay.
Oop poop poo 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 poo.
Yeah. With our backs turned to Monokuma's creepy, unstable laughter, Kirigiri and I left the gym. I don't really know what just happened, but I didn't get executed. I'm not dead somehow. I really didn't expect that to work. And now, I've got another reason to be thankful to Kirigiri. Thanks, Kirigiri. It's all because of you. It's still too early to be celebrating. The real battle is still to come. Yeah, I know. But even so, I'm just as relieved as you are. Thank goodness he accepted my proposition. Why do you think he did, anyway? What does the Puppet Master gain from accepting your challenge? He had no choice. What? That's what I was talking about when I said we had an advantage. So, in the end, what was that advantage? I didn't hear it firsthand, but the Puppet Master said that everything that happens here is being broadcast live nationwide over hijacked broadcast signals, right? Yeah, he did. What did you think when you heard that? It was pretty hard to believe, wasn't it? Well, yeah, him hijacking the broadcast signals seems almost unreal. It seems almost unreal because it's something that doesn't happen very often. Because it's just that difficult. But the Puppet Master pulled it off. Turning that around, it means the Puppet Master had some reason he needed to do it, despite how difficult it was. A reason. No matter what the cost, he wanted to put us killing each other on display for the world to see. He wanted to put us on display, killing each other. The Puppet Master didn't just want us dead. He was determined to make us kill each other. He most likely established the school rules expressly for that purpose. Yeah, you're right. If those rules didn't exist, nobody would have killed anyone. Basically, the Puppet Master's objective was to make us kill each other to show that to the world. But to what end? More than likely as proof. Proof? Do you know how Kyubogamine Academy students are referred to by the general population? Hope, right? By plunging us hope into despair and driving us to kill each other, and then putting that display for the world, he wanted to prove that despair prevails over hope. That is the Puppet Master's goal. Super duper high school despair's goal. Huh? To prove that despair prevails over hope. All for something so stupid? It is stupid, and it is illogical, but it's certainly something the group of people called Super Duper High School Despair would come up with. People who act purely for the sake of despair. But making people suffer for something like that. I understand wanting to get angry, but it's because of that reason that our advantage was born. What? Because the Puppet Master wanted to show us killing each other to the world. He's even more stringent than necessary about upholding the rules he established. Had he forced action, ignoring the rules, this would no longer be a coliseum, but a slaughterhouse. At the very least, that's how it would appear to the people watching. So that's why he couldn't kill us himself? That's the very reason he couldn't kill me with his own hands. As much as I was a thorn in his side, I wasn't actually breaking the rules. So he couldn't step in and intervene directly like he did with Anashima. He attempted to kill me using the class trial so it would appear as though he was upholding the rules. There was no correct answer, just a setup to make me into the culprit. But he failed. All thanks to you. And from that failure, we gained an even bigger advantage. He tried to execute you even though you were innocent. And since his failure was revealed on live television, he had no choice but to accept your proposal. To prove to the world that despair prevails over hope, he needed to completely and utterly defeat us. So the revelation that the Puppet Master having violated his own rules was a mark against him. And you used that against him to get him to accept your challenge? It was you who put that hole in his defenses. We're only walking this road now because you believed in me. I can't believe you figured all that out. I hadn't noticed anything. No, I just reasoned it out without any solid proof and took a chance on that reasoning. Thankfully, it appears I was right. After she said that, she let out a deep breath, like a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Quite frankly, I haven't been that nervous in a while. That's not how it looked to me. But before we left to find Monokuma, you looked like you were brimming with confidence. That's one of the fundamentals of negotiation. You need to be strong and sure of yourself. Besides, if I looked anxious, it would have just made you even more so. She's probably right about that, as pitiful as it makes me. But we can't just sit here clamoring about how happy we are forever. All we've attained now is a chance to continue fighting. If we don't win here, then it will all have been for nothing. Yeah. She's right. If we don't beat the Puppet Master here, we can't make it out of here alive. Winning is our only option. Before we begin the final investigation, we need to bring the others up to speed. But we know who our enemy is now. So all that's left is for everyone to work together and hunt down the Puppet Master. Everyone working together. Will it really be that easy? Huh? Anyway, we need to find everyone else. Let's go. I'm sure they're somewhere in the dorms. She's most likely right. So let's go over to the place where everyone most likely is. The cafeteria. Alright. Yeah. Waiting for us in the cafeteria when Kirigiri and I arrived was... You again. Huh. I'm not gonna bother reading that. Is he broken? Being unstable is one thing, but this is ridiculous. And he's gone. I wonder what that was about. I barely had any time to let it aside before. What? Nike, is that you?
Guys! It really is you! I can't believe my eyes! It's NicoB! Oh, you're alive? I swear, you're as resilient as a damn cockroach. Just to be sure, you're not a ghost, are ya? There everyone was. My friends, my companions, the people I had fought alongside. The moment I saw everyone's faces, my eyes got a little misty. Wait, what's that stench? Oh, damn, dude, that's rank. It's NicoB! NicoB smells like a wet dog! Go stand over there. Shoo! Shoo! And with that, the tears receded. Oh, man. NicoB. Oh. Right, we need to... Monokuma. What about him? By the way, you're gonna be alright, Nags. You're a fugitive now. It'd be bad if the pub master found you. That, too, has to do with what we need to tell everyone. What we need to tell you has something to do with the final class trial. The final class trial? We're retrying Mukuro Ikusaba's murder case. Huh? We're retrying it? Retry it once or 1,000 times, dude. NicoB still didn't he? That's what we're saying. It wasn't me. NicoB did not murder her. Of course, neither did I, nor any of you. Then, who did? It's the Puppet Master's doing. Huh? You're saying the Puppet Master killed Mukuro Ikusaba? Yes. It was all an elaborate trap laid out by the Puppet Master. NicoB discovered that trap, and he tried to prevent it from going off. And because of that, he was sentenced to an execution. NicoB discovered the trap, you say? I wasn't nearly as conscious of it as you're making me out to be, but that's cool. However, the act of executing NicoB, who is not the culprit, is a blatant violation of the rules. The school rules say the villain will be executed. In other words, the Puppet Master broke his own rules. So we negotiated with him, asked us to grant a retrial. And he did? Just because he broke a rule he wrote himself? He had no choice but to agree. You used the broadcast signal hijacking against him, didn't you? We're on the same wavelength, I see. You mentioned something at the end of the last class trial, when you said it's the Puppet Master who's been cornered. This is what you meant, isn't it? Yeah, you're leaving me in the dust here, dude. If you can't keep up, then ask Kirigiri or someone to explain things to you later. So then, what are we supposed to do now? We just need to show it was the Puppet Master who killed Mukuro Ikusaba, right? Surely that's not all, is it? No, that's not. Monokuma said that for us to win this trial, we need to solve all the Academy's mysteries, too. All of the Academy's mysteries? You mean the stuff we've been investigating all this time and still haven't learned anything hardly about? You probably suspect as much already, but if we lose, then all of us will be executed. We'll all be executed? Hold on. Don't you go around making challenges like that without our consent. I'm perfectly fine with the way things are, as long as my White Knight is here with me. And I'd like to get out of here as soon as possible. Anyway, our only chance of us surviving is to uncover the truth. Which is to say, this is the deciding battle. What an interesting development. But we've got to do that on top of figuring out who the Puppet Master is and how he committed the murder. Our plate just keeps getting bigger and bigger, dude. But hey, unlike the other class trials we've had, we know exactly who our enemy is this time. So if we all work together, I'm positive we can figure this out. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? I personally cannot concur with the proposal that everyone work together. Why not? We're obviously better off working together if we want to solve the Academy's mysteries. I, of course, thought the same thing. Until Monokuma said... Until he said... Only 16 students... Only those 16 students have been the ones to set foot in the Academy since the start of this whole thing. I see. If that's what Monokuma says, then Kirigiri is exactly right. Huh? Why? Assuming, as Kirigiri said, it was the Puppet Master who killed Mukuro Ikusaba, that means he's inside Kibogomine Academy. The murder is one thing, but tampering with the crime scene to that extent with Monokuma is nigh impossible.
However, based on what Monokuma said, the only living humans to have set foot in this academy are the 16 students participating in this academic coliseum.
Then, the Puppet Master's identity. There were 15 people in the hall in the entrance hall on the first day. At Mukuro Ikusaba, you get 16. So he's one of those 16?
Furthermore, of those 16, only 6 of us are still alive. I believe you can figure out the rest from there.
You mean one of us is the Puppet Master? No way! Hold on, we can't be certain of that just yet. Monokuma could have just said that to freak us out.
That is possible, yes. But it's only one of the many possibilities. The same possibility of the Puppet Master being in this room. So long as the possibility exists, it cannot be ruled out.
I agree. When the title of Super Duper High School Despair came to light, it became pretty clear that the Puppet Master was a student. We can't deny that he could be among us.
But if one of us really was the Puppet Master, they would have to control Monokuma too. And yet, in all the times Monokuma's shown up, no one has ever acted that suspicious, have they?
They could have just snuck away and done it. One of us would have noticed someone sneaking away so many times. Unless they were a ninja.
Then Monokuma's completely automatic, dude. Everything he says and does is all pre-programmed. If that's the case, he wouldn't be able to hold such natural-sounding conversations. If someone were able to guide it through the conversation, it's certainly not impossible.
Sure, I guess. But let's be honest. May I have your attention, please? As I expect you guys are already aware, our academic coliseum is rapidly entering its final chapter, wherein all will be revealed. In spirit of the fairness, I've opened all the locks in the building. Investigate as much as you'd like. Solve mysteries to your heart's content. Oop oop oop. See you at the class trial.
How very generous of him, unlocking every door. The time for chit-chat is over. Now we investigate. But I was planning to work by myself regardless. This late in the game, all I can rely on is myself, and the Togami blood coursing through my veins. You shouldn't concern yourself with others either. Just do what you need to do. Goodbye. Having said that, Togami quickly left the cafeteria.
Oh, my white knight! He didn't take me with him.
Of course he didn't, dude.
Without my white knight around, you're all like a cappuccino with neither coffee nor milk. In other words, worthless to me! So, goodbye.
And with that, Fukawa too slithered out of the cafeteria. Well, there she goes. You plan to fly solo too, Kiri?
Yes.
Which means just Nags, Hina, and Hina are left. Alright then, going alone's the best option.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
You just watch, dude. Me and my crystal ball are gonna blow the lid off this whole thing. Hagakura's bellowing laughter filled the room and slowly faded as he left the cafeteria.
Oh, everyone really is going off by themselves.
What are you going to do, Asahina?
I guess I'll see what I can do on my own too. Don't get me wrong, it's not because I don't trust everyone, you know? It's just, I've never really been any help before. I always relied on Sakura and everyone else.
You've been no help? That's not true at all. You being here has been a huge help.
Naigi. Aw, you're too kind. But it's true that I have been very useful. At the very least, I want to try my best and find something of value now, while I have the chance. So I'm gonna go it alone too. Having said that, I'll catch you later.
Asahina dashed out of the cafeteria, and the only ones left, just me and you again.
Yes, indeed.
You're investigating alone too, aren't you?
Don't misunderstand me.
Just because we're investigating independently doesn't mean I'm not going to share any information with you. That's not true. And I'm sure the others feel the same way. Yeah, she's right. So maybe we're not all investigating together. That doesn't mean we can't cooperate. I just need to think of it as division of labor. And after this, we're gonna pool our results. Yeah, that works! Alright, I should get going too. I have a lot I'd like to look into. Monokuma said he opened all the locks in the building. Which is to say, the entire academy should be open to investigation. So we can go places we haven't been able to before. Let's reveal the truth, Naegi. No matter what. And then Kirigiri too left the cafeteria. And I was the only one left. I don't have much time to laze around either. I've got to get started. I just couldn't believe that the Puppet Master was one of us. So I decided, I'd prove that wrong. I'll uncover the Puppet Master's real identity, solve all the Academy's mysteries, and get out of here with everyone! First, I should go back over the Monokuma file about Mukuro Ukosaba's murder. As a result of severe damage by an explosion, the identity of the deceased is unknown. The explosion occurred post-mortem. The deceased suffered a single knife wound to the abdomen, extending to the back of the body. There are signs of trauma visible on the back of the deceased's head, which appear to have been caused by a strike from a cylindrical object approximately the same diameter as an iron pipe. Additionally, there are numerous wounds visible in multiple locations on the deceased's body. However, these wounds were not incurred in the last few days, but at some earlier time. The person who killed Mukuro Ukosaba, they are the Puppet Master. If I want to figure out what really happened, first I should investigate the rooms that have been locked that we haven't been able to see until now. That would be the headmaster's office, the biology lab, the Monokuma door in the data processing room, and the second floor of the dormitory. The shutters should be open now too, right? Beyond that, I should also probably reinvestigate areas directly connected to the murder. So the botanical garden and the dojo. Alright, let's go! And with that, I'm going to call it an episode here, guys. Next time on Let's Play Danganronpa, we will be investigating the entire school. See you guys then. Bye.